Hello, welcome to Dundrol's podcast. I'm your host, Justin. So we were asked by Kevin Street to do a Goodreads reacts to Superman Volume 1, or Superman by Brian Michael Bendis. I think this is his first book, right? So, Kevin, if I got the wrong book, let me know, okay? But yeah, if anybody else has suggestions for what comics or books you want me to react to Goodreads reviews for, let me know in the comments, okay? So this is Superman Volume 1, the Unity Saga, Phantom Earth. This came out in 2018. So I should warn people, if you haven't read the books, haven't read the comic, there's going to be spoilers. Like, the first review spoiled pretty much the whole thing. So, spoiler alert if you haven't read the Superman book that a lot of people hate, but for some reason it has like a 3.5, which almost looks like 4 stars. But 3.5 is not that good, actually, if you think about it. So Anne gave it 4 stars, picking up after the events of Man of Steel. Superman has to deal with the same baddie, Rogar Zar, when the Band-Aid throwing him into the Phantom Zone gets soggy and flops open like they do. She was trying to make a joke. Due to spoiler reasons, the Earth gets sucked into the Phantom Zone. Naturally, all hell breaks loose as the Justice League fights off the villains, while nerds do the sciencey calculations needed to figure out how to get the planet back where it belongs. All the while, Superman is doing Superman-y things. She said stuff, but whatever. And having poignant moments all over the place. I gotta be honest, I wasn't all that sucked in by the evil aliens in the Phantom Zone story. Oh my god. But I was sucked in by Bendis' writing. This sort of character is perfect for his sappy style. I mean that in the best way possible, and as a big fan of Bendis. Of course, Superman pulls a win out of his ass with nothing but love and the magic of friendship. And of course, the superheroes saved the day. I was about to cry. It was so sweet. But the biggest thing about this story is that ending when John comes back. I guess we shall see how as John comes back as a motherfucking 17-year-old. So now we got a new Superboy. I guess we shall see how this all pans out. Sean Gibson gave this a 4 stars. Bendis does Bendis-y things to Superman, including having him make the occasional wisecrack. Reis draws strong widescreen action scenes. Oh, that does look like Ivan Reis' art. And as the book goes on, it really starts to work. A nice early foray into the DCU for the former Mr. Marvel. Unrelated, DC needs to do a series called Superman about a cheerful, optimistic stoner who greets even the dark sides of the world with unabashed delight and offer to smoke a bowl in an effort to broker peace. What the fuck is he talking about? Oh my god. Oh, Sam Coyote with the Son Goku thumbnail is back. I've read a lot of funny reviews by this guy. He gives it a 2 out of 5 stars. Oh, Brian Bendyman. The rule is that you start titles well and then taper off into unforgettable dross after a few good books. You're not meant to begin crappy. Super Pants is sorta looking for Lois and John, whom his dad / hologram I can't keep up anymore dad has taken on a great space coaster or something before suddenly winding up in the Phantom Zone along with Earth. Wow! It's not the best premise, but not least as it stars labs pulsing about cause the mess and has nothing to do with Superman. But because it's just a bad excuse for Superman vs. Rogozar Round 2, this time with added Zod. I know Bendis is trying to make Rogozar this ultimate nemesis of Superman, but all I see is another big strong monster for Cal the Punch. He's not interesting at all. There's a couple weird and probably unintentional references to small comics publisher Valiant thrown in superfluously. The subtitle is the Unity Saga. No idea what that is by. And Valiant's super team is called Unity. And there's a pointless cameo by Livewire, and Valiant have a character of the same name. Bendis is also surprisingly references the awful movie Superman Returns in the opening chapter. What the fuck? Why the fuck is a DC book referencing Valiant Comics? Oh my god. Bendis writes a really good Superman. He's got the voice down cold, but he just hasn't come up with a good story for the character yet. I appreciate he's a difficult character to write, but it doesn't change how bored I was reading this for the most part. That is true. Superman is one of the hardest characters to write in DC. That and Batman. Out of the many other DC characters appearing here, I like Bendis' Adam Strange the best, though he bizarrely chooses to write Martian Manhunter as a fascist in that scene where John tries to convince Superman to forcibly take control of the human race. What the fuck? Ivan Reis' art is fine too. It's competent and skillful. It just doesn't excite me. The story ends so anticlimactically and sunny though, and it wasn't exactly gripping up to them either. So Bendis is 0 to 2 in his DC books thus far. If all you're looking for is a mindless slugfest between overpowered characters, you can fill your boots with Superman Volume 1, The Unity Saga, Phantom Earth. Too many subtitles, as that seems to be all Superman about these days. Boo. I hate when books have like too many subtitles. It makes it difficult as fuck to like label like videos, man. Artemi gave it 5 stars. I know I'm somehow in a minority on this, but Bendis absolutely kills it on Superman. He did from that very first short story in Action Comics 1000, and he still does in both Superman and Action Comics. This has been an absolute highlight of my year as a Superman fan, and as a comics fan. Bendis just does everything right. He has a cool story, he nails the characterization perfectly, his Superman is spot on, his supporting cast is great and well-rounded, and even the villain, yes, Rogozar, so very maligned amongst the fans. Maligned? I don't know. Is interesting and not without depth. Among the two Soup series Bendis is helming, I still give a slight edge to Action Comics, just because that series is more of what I always loved about Bendis books, more down to earth and more down to earth investigative journalism, Daredevil-y, Jessica Jones-y type of story that somehow still works wonders when set in Metropolis, but his Superman book is still rad as hell, not in the least thanks to Ivan Reis' career best jaw-dropping artwork, which I can't wait to get in some oversized hardcover form. Bendis is Superman, the best pair of writing and character in 2018. Who knew? More of that, DC. Thank you very much. So I got I am reading the wrong reviews for the wrong fucking book. God damn it. Oh, well, we already started. Lynn rated 3 out of 5. You know the magic eye photos, the photo illusion where you must focus or not focus or whatever, you got to stare at it and you see another image? Yeah, I've never been able to do that. I see people saying, oh yeah, there, I see it now. Not me. Brian Michael Bendis has won awards. Heaps of acolytes. People love his writing. I see where he's going. I don't get it. What are you all seeing? I read his work on Action Comics, Year of the Villain, Detective Comics, Event Leviathan, Guardians of the Galaxy, Spider-Man, all good writing, good comics, but not spectacularly, not very earth-shattering or mind-bending, not the greatest thing I ever read. Dude, you gotta read his shit from like the 2000s. Don't read the recent shit. Sorry. So we come to this to his 2019 Superman Volume 1 The Unity Saga Phantom Earth. So, in my opinion, if people want to get into Brian Michael Bendis, you should read his New Avengers run from the 2000s, before Dark Reign, before Secret Invasion, and then read Secret Invasion, Dark Reign, all that shit. Which, yeah. So we come to his 2019 Superman Volume 1 The Unity Saga Phantom Earth. It's good. We got Superman, Zod, Justice League regulars, and some veteran members. Lots of action as the Earth gets lost in the Phantom Zone. Kal-El fights a Kryptonian monster. Bendis has a lighter style, throws some fun in there. That was good. Actually, there is a very good scene, a flashback between Clark and John where he talks about restraint and patience and the good in humanity. That was good. Also, some scenes with Martian Manhunter. That was good. Ivan Reis art. That was good. But just good, nothing out of this world besides the Man of Steel himself. But I can promise you, fellow comic book readers, I'm going to keep staring at the image, keep reading Bendis, so maybe I can see it too. Chad rated a 3 out of 5. This was alright. Earth gets transported to the Phantom Zone, where Superman has to once again face Rogozar along with a mob of nameless aliens. Most of the book is just a monologue in Superman's head. The scenes that work best are the ones where Superman is playing off another character. My favorite scene was the flashback scene with John. If any superhero was ever meant to be a father, it's Superman. And Bendis writes it spot on. The scene with Martian Manhunter was just weird, with John Jones contemplating becoming a despot by mankind's best interests. Of course, Rogozar still hasn't been given a personality or any backstory, and thus isn't very interesting. At this point, he's just a chatty version of Doomsday. Ivan Reis has a very classic DC look to it. It's reminiscent of George Perez, especially in his ability to draw huge fight scenes with some Neil Adams thrown in. Received an advanced copy from DC and NetGalley. All thoughts are my own and no way influenced by the aforementioned. Well, I guess you gave it 3 out of 5. Yeah, so I'm not going to call you a shill. James DeSantis gave it a 4 out of 5. I'm happy to report that after the Man of Steel mini-event, Bendis has put together a strong arc for Superman. See, Superman isn't really an easy character to always write. You have to give him villains and stakes. It's not always so easy for someone who is nearly unstoppable. However, the more important factor is giving Superman the humanity that some people don't seem to want to put in to their Superman stories. All I ever fucking get is Superman having to deal with his humanity in the Superman stories. That's why Superman stories are fucking boring to me. That's me. That's not the person talking. Not me reading the person's comment. You want to feel for the guy since he's always trying to do the right thing, and I think Bendis does it better here than he did in the mini events, which I thought was good but not great. So Superman is doing his Superman things. See, last we seen Clark, he had lost his wife and son. On a search to find both, he spends his time around Earth saving and helping people. His self-doubts if he's doing enough and his friends trying to push more responsibility on him is interesting little twist. However, when the Phantom Zone begins to open and the world gets sucked in, we are in trouble since all of Superman's greatest foes live within. One of the biggest of all time, Rogozar himself, the main villain from the main Man of Steel event. If Superman can barely handle him one-on-one, how can he face off Rogozar and an army? Good. I really like the art here. I think it's a big reason I enjoyed this so much. Everything looks epic, especially some of these amazing fight scenes. I like what Bendis is doing here with Clark, giving him the humanity and the eternal thoughts and caring for us all, while also fighting his best to keep a strong front. The second half of this arc flies by with massive fights that are highly entertaining. I'll also state the last issue is great because of a defeat and a surprise return. Bendis is shaping up to make his Superman run pretty dang entertaining. Bad. There's moments of over-the-top silliness with the dialogue. I think Barry, who the artist got mixed up and drew Wally instead in one part. is way too silly and dumb. I mean, don't get me wrong, joking Barry is nice, but it felt a little meh here. I also thought the first half is a little shaky, and they throw a lot at you with the pass and such. Overall, this is great for fans for the more action-packed Superman while still keeping the heart of the character. I'm overall impressed with this title more than I thought. It hasn't reached the heights of Peter's run yet, but I'm hoping it does. A 4 out of 5 out of 10. Okay, sorry, 4 out of 5. Subham gave it a 3 out of 5. This was a fun read. Superman sees that the Earth is the Phantom Zone, is in the Phantom Zone, and finds the reason why. And we see the monsters of this zone attack the planet, so Superman has to defend it against them. And at the same time, we see Clark face off against Rogozar again, and we see his inner thoughts and all the fighting the monster through all sides and reminiscing killing him, and when he remembers what his mom and pa taught, and well, the dilemma there. Meanwhile, the heroes of Earth try to fix everything. Oh, the fights later, a cliched ending, a surprising reveal in the end. We close the volume out. Yeah, it's pretty basic story, which could have been done in like 4 issues. Didn't require like 12. Is what it will end up being. Fuck this guy. Is what it will end up being. Seems like. And yeah, the writing is okay-ish, but some of the dialogue feels so off. Like how Superman and Jean talk sometimes, and some jokes were so unfunny. Bendis makes Flash look like a bumbling idiot. The Marvel humor is really bad in DCU, as the characters are different, but putting that aside, the story is a rematch and has many Easter eggs and weird surprise end. Some might like it, some might hate it. I'm kinda in the middle of it, but man, the art by Reis is gorgeous. Oh my god. Oh, that was hard to read. Wing Key gave it 3 out of 5. Uneven, choppy, with some hidden nuggets of awesome. World, the art is okay. Holy fuck, this is a long review. World, the art is okay, but there is a bit of chop going issue 4 to 5 with a lettering change which caught me off guard. For the most part, this book looks nice. The sense of motion is great. Splash pages are powerful and connect. The world building here is good. It takes what Bendis built with Man of Steel and it builds upon it. Sure, it does. Sure, it changes the history of Krypton again, but it's been done by so many authors. Who's really counting anymore? And once again, we get Zar as a villain. He's kind of cool, but I'm not a fan of him. He's just another Doomsday in my book. So having him 3 consecutive Superman stories counting Man of Steel and Action Comics is a bit much. The story is silly, over the top, fake science stuff. It's a thin line that has to be threaded for a Superman science fiction story, and in the case of this first arc, Bendis plays hopscotch with the line in one moment. It's really cool, and the science and the action, the story all together. In another instance, is stupid, campy, and over the top. The Flash comes to mind. The story is choppy. It's so full of beautiful, quiet moments about Clark and who he is and what Superman stands for. It's so beautiful, but it is also intercut with a real chopping, over-the-top story that really jerks the readers around. I know that Clark is trying to have a moment here, and the main finale with the idea that Superman needs to make a choice. Whether his choices are on him is a thing, but yeah, I think the writing could be a lot better and a lot tighter in terms of pacing. The book is also just ends, which annoyed me. I see some great things here. The idea of Zod showing up, and also the idea of Krypton fighting back in the conflict of Clark is good, but the writing, yeah, I'm repeating myself now, but it's true. Characters. Bendis knows how to write Clark. He knows how to write how Superman thinks in the conflict that he has. But the book needs to slow down a bit. These emotions, for these emotions to sink in for readers. The intercutting with the action didn't really help Bendis. The idea of choice is a good one, and that is the main focus of this Unity arc. But it is also covered in so much noise and action and story pieces, it doesn't get the full focus the story needs. This is Clark's internal character development book, and it's not that. I'm not a big fan of Zard. He's just another meth villain. but that needs to be punched. And so far, after so many issues of him, I still find him boring and pointless. I kind of wish another villain was used here. This arc was choppy, there was potential, but it was also not very good at the same time. It wants to do many things at once. In the end, it's a master of none. I hope the series does get better. Onward to the next book. Holy fuck. Rod Brown. In his move from Marvel to DC, I think Bendis has confused the Phantom Zone with the Negative Zone. Our Anton Arcane look-alike Roger Zar, a genocidal maniac intent on killing all Kryptonians, sets himself up as a nihilist. Holy shit. Gathering an army of aliens who fly around the zone and attacking Superman and his friends. File this under Sound and Fury, as is basically one long fight sequence with one little clever but basically unexplained save by the Atom. I have another Bendis Superman graphic novel sitting on the to-read shelf right now. But unless it's amazing, I think I'm done with the uninspiring take on the character. Oh, that was fucking brutal. Most brutal yet. Sud666 rated a 2 out of 5. Well, Bendis Superman has started out well enough. The first issue, while nothing great, at least had some decent humor. As in when John and Superman are trying to talk, but Superman keeps saving things. It was amusing and had that trademark Bendis humor. Then the main story started and went downhill. Earth got sent to the Phantom Zone. Oh yeah, so Bendis used this dumbass premise. I actually thought the premise was cool. This dumbass premise to give us a typical Superman versus yet another dude that is more powerful than Superman. Doomsday anyone? Villain. Yay, this time is some dude named Roger Zar, who allegedly blew up Krypton. On a side note, how many people have been accused of that now? From Jor-El to General Zod to this Jax guy. Or was that a moon? Anyways, this Zar guy is also Superman levels of power. And destroyed Krypton? Awesome, very original. I think he meant that sarcastically. Bendis feels bad enough about this trope of a story that he fills in the action scenes with filler of Superman moping about his son and wife being away, and we see cute Soups and Son or Soups and Lois stories, all to cover the fact that the action and the villain are so typical that it is almost embarrassing. So was this terrible? No. Was it great? Nope. Good? Not really. How about a 2-star meh worthy rating? Yep. I mean, it's kind of cool that we get cameos from other superheroes. Because, like, a lot of the time when I read, like, Superman stories, it's kind of boring. Because it's, like, it's just Superman by himself. And maybe we get a cameo from, like, Batman. But, like, a lot of the Superman stories I've read, it's just Superman by himself. Or it's Supergirl, right? So the fact that you're getting, like, people like the Atom, Flash, Justice Leaguers is kind of cool. LaShawn Balsingham gave it 3 out of 5. You can find my review on my blog by clicking here. Following writer Brian Michael Bendis' transition from Marvel to DC Comics in his first story with one of DC's greatest superheroes, the Man of Steel, he now pursues his foray into the hero's lore in 2 distinct series. Sorry, I gotta press the more. Superman and Superman Action Comics. His latest story arc, Superman the Unity Saga, Planet Earth, is now his second attempt at consolidating his reputation among readers, and his latest opportunity to obtain the respect and trust of his fans as he showcases his understanding of the Big Blue Boy Scout. With a character that has greatly evolved conceptually over the past 8 years, it is no secret that the task before him is inevitable, monumental, but the directions he takes are nonetheless infinite. From exploring the hero's family dynamics, his love interest, the city of Metropolis, Krypton, his own place among humans, or his grasp on intergalactic conflicts and temporal meddling, Brian Michael Bendis has a plate full of ideas to explore, and so the question subsists: Where will he go with with his Superman run? What is Superman the Unity Saga Phantom Earth about? Collecting issues 1 through 6, the story picks up where the Man of Steel ended, with Superman having to henceforth live alone without his loved ones, who are off on a mission to teach his son John of his place in the world and the extent of his powers. Confronted with this new situation, Superman also finds himself reevaluating his role on Earth and what he can do for mankind. Unfortunately for him, his latest mission is forced upon him when he realizes that Earth has somehow been sent to the Phantom Zone, the interdimensional prison where all villains are usually transported to. Who is behind this planetary catastrophe? What are their motives? How is Superman going to get them out of it? This challenge will push Superman to reflect on his priorities and sacrifices, and he dares to contemplate for everyone on a daily basis. Rest assured, Brian Michael Bendis writes a compelling Superman who, under psychological duress, is having a tough time being grounded in his routine life as Kal-El, Clark Kent, and Superman. Although his portrayal of the hero draws upon some of Superman's most virtuous beliefs and builds upon the premise of the Man of Steel, there seems to be an underlying theme of invincibility discernible in all the pompous action sequences scattered throughout the story arc. To further accentuate the grandeur of Superman, Brian Michael Bendis also fully exploits the hero's prestigious status among the heroes and places him in the particular situation that forces his hands immensely and thus leaves an enormous burden on his shoulders. With decisions piling one on top of the other, the load he takes on is pretty impassive, but the inconceivable beatdown he embraces in this story arc took me out of the intensity of the moment far too often. In fact, the beatdown that Superman suffers in the story arc comes from a newly introduced villain who brings into play the brute force of Doomsday with the strategic thinking of General Zod. The development of this key character who plays an immense role in Superman's origin story by retconning the fundamental story elements stays relatively shaky and a bit unconvincing, but it remains to be seen how much juice Brian Michael Bendis will be able to squeeze out of this new rivalry. Ivan Reis' artwork, however, remains an exquisite strength in this volume, with his ability to deliver grandiose and explosive events, his ability to convey the epic scale of the stories he works on continues to be impressive, complemented by the wonderful and flashy colors by Alex Sinclair. A drastic change in the panel configuration lettering of the last issues was also unexpected, but a very welcome change of style. Superman the Unity Saga Planet Earth is a straightforward exploration of the Man of Steel's leadership and his physical endurance, accompanied by the Ivan Reis bombastic and striking artwork. Yours truly, the Sean blogger and book reviewer. Okay. Holy fuck. We're only gonna read the bad reviews, okay? We're just gonna read the bad reviews and the short reviews. RG rated a 3 out of 5. This was okay. More of a cosmic take on Superman. Pretty much no Clark Kent. Bendis does have potential here, but we'll see. The art by Reyes has an older style to it. Kind of reminded of Lee's art in some of the right scenes. As in Jim Lee? I kind of get the George Perez comparison to Ivan Reis, but the Jim Lee, I see more of a resemblance to Jim Lee's art from people like Mark Silvestri and Rob Liefeld than I do Ivan Reis. What the fuck? Yeah, we're gonna skip this one. We're only gonna read the bad ones, okay? We read enough good ones. Chris Lemmerman rated it 2 out of 5. God damn it, Bendis. I wanted to like this. I really did. I heard that Bendis' Superman got better. But this first arc is not impressive at all. Everything hinges on total coincidence. Even the titular Phantom Earth itself, and it reads like the Justice League are frantically trying to chase their own tails, while Bendis throws Batman under a bus every chance he gets, which is funny the first few times, but gets grating fast. Holy fuck! Marvel writers really like to. Former Marvel writers really like to make Batman look bad in comics. I've noticed, like Marv Wolfman, Jeff Johns, you know, those people. And then there's Rogo Zar, who is the least interesting villain I ever read. His motivation is non-consistent. He's meant to be the big secret antagonist, and he just comes across as a super duper bland. Things start looking up when General Zod appears in the last few issues. Thank you, Bendis, for not entirely forgetting about his status quo. But then the story just ends abruptly on a totally unrelated cliffhanger. Thank God for the Ivan Reis art, is all I can say. This better get better next time around, or I'm gonna be mad. Baba rated 2 out of 5. So I did it after a 7-year. Oh my god, I can relate to this guy. So I did it after a 7-year hiatus. I'm back to reading a DC book. Blame Brian Michael Bendis. 8 years behind continuity doesn't help, but it was a good starting point. Bar it being a cosmic adventure, I loathe the most mainstream comic cosmic adventures. Bendis' short, snappy dialogue is missing, and we have to mostly listen to / read Superman's inner voice, which is quite interesting and keeps the reader involved. Not the smashing super book I thought it would be, but definitely a grower. So now I have to go and find Action Comics, Young Justice, Naomi, and other Bendis DC book. God damn it. 5.5 out of 12. What the fuck kind of rating is that? Chris gave it a 1 star. This is the first Superman book penned by Brian Michael Bendis, and I don't think I can do it anymore. I thought this was the second book. At first I thought it was the first book, but then reading people's reviews, I realized it was the second book, and now this guy's saying it's the third book. I think he has a really good handle on Superman / Clark. His backstory and his relationship with his parents, which to me is one of the most important elements of his character, but the family dynamic has been completely torn apart. The story itself bores the crap out of me. I really need to see Superman punching a dude again and again. He almost saves it by some nice flashbacks to Clark and Lois and John, but all that does is emphasize that Bendis could write these characters in character if he wanted, but he clearly is more interested in tearing them apart and rebuilding them in his image. Spoilers for the final panel. So I gave it a shot. I have loved a lot of Bendis's Marvel books. I loved Miles Morales and his Ultimate Spider-Man books, but I don't like the way he writes the Kent Lane family dynamic. I don't like the direction he seems to be heading in. The things I love so much about Superman in the last few years are gone. Perhaps I've given him another shot to see where things are heading. But how many chances should he get? I don't say this as a whiny fanboy, just as someone who realizes it's probably time to move on. Okay, let's see if there's more. Holy fuck, there's a lot of reviews. Okay, we'll read 3 more and then we're ending this. Not sure what I feel about... Sorry, Chris Ritchie gave it a 2 out of 5. Not sure what I feel about this. I mean, I read all the way through it, and I did not find myself flipping and skipping as I do with Superman titles normally. Sue me, The Boy in Blue can get pretty damn boring. Yet, I feel like that was more because I wanted to give Bendis Superman a chance, and I felt I had to read through it all to do so. Frankly, it was kind of boring, and not much really happened, but Bendis' characterization of Superman interests me, and it was more than likely what made me not give this one a 1 star. Hopefully Bendis takes improves, or I may wait until I get my hands on Young Justice and some of his other DC titles. Okay. Tom Ewing, I think that's how you pronounce it, get rated at 2 out of 5. A scattering of good bits in this, Bendis has a better grip on writing a ludicrous widescreen JLA story than the people doing the actual Justice League right now. But this central conflict between Superman and Rogozar is a grinding slugfest, which vague hints at some wider mystery can't I think he meant enlighten, but enliven. Zara at this stage never comes across as more than a doomsday, but with dialogue in addition doesn't improve the concept. There's a nice deflectionary twist at the end, making the point that these cosmic punch-ups are ultimately a distraction for Superman, not the purpose of him. But that can't really disguise the fact that we just spent 120 pages reading one. So this is going to be the last one I'm going to read. Richard gave it a 2 out of 5. This is basically a follow-up to Bendis' introductory Man of Steel miniseries and wraps up the Rogozar storyline. I don't think Zar is all that interesting as a villain. I barely cared about much of this. I did enjoy the exploration of the Phantom Zone a little here, but until the big plot twist at the end, this was a big yawn. So that's it for this review. Of this reaction to Goodreads reviews of Superman Volume 1, the Unity Saga, Phantom Earth by Brian Michael Bendis. What? Oh my god, I fucking hate like long titles. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I'm sorry, Kevin. I got the wrong book review. I got the wrong book reviews, but you know what? It can get a little confusing when Superman has 3 different titles. So that's it for this podcast, guys. Peace. Leave me suggestions for more. But I think the next one we're going to do is Daniel Way's Deadpool.